You wake up, it's 2050. What do you Google first? How to avoid debt collectors. 30 years of no payments. My debt would be crazy. And I know, as soon as my face and DNA shows up on the radars, the repo men would be coming for my organs. You were kinda dead for 30 years. If it's known that you're one of the people who actually stopped existing for 30 years, you maybe could justify it in court. Thought it'd be smart to freeze himself for a day. His friend who was supposed to stay there and wake him up fell asleep, and when he woke up, he was gone, never to be found again. I read an article that talked about internet. If we colonized Mars, it would be basically two different internet. If you need to get something from Mars, you will have to put yourself in a queue. When your request reached the top, it would be downloaded on server on Earth and be accessible for everyone here. The more peoples want access to the same website, the more it goes up in the queue. For Mars, where server would be rare and their capacity much lower than Earth, it would be a system of least used deleted first. For data coming from Earth, website based on Mars would have priority anyway, where on Earth it would stay there and just need some update. Google dies after releasing and terminating support early on another 100 unfinished, feature incomplete products and digital services, a number of which were highly popular, while others people pointed out to the fact that nobody asked or wanted those services in the first place. Ultimately, Google cancelled Google. To be honest, I don't think it will be that large or much larger than other years. The corona is really big, but if they write it down like corona pandemic and try to describe it in about 5 sentences, you'll have most of the year so far written down. I don't think it is much larger than the airstrike on Iran beginning this year. On the other hand, we are only in the 4th month. My own name. I have metastatic cancer and a prognosis of about 10 years. I want to know why I'm alive in 2050 and what I managed to get done between now and when I went to sleep. Edit. RIP my inbox. Thank you so much for the well wishes. Cancer sucks and I'm sorry so many of your lives have been touched by it too. The Amazon was completely cleared out, along with the redwood forests of North America, in order to try and keep up with demand. Unfortunately, even this was not enough. Now trees are seen as a luxury property and only those of the highest class may have one in their backyard. The wanking license, introduced in the fall of 2020 after people working from home were found to not be working at all. It comes preloaded with 15 uses after which it can be renewed, but you need to bring your mother to the wanking officer and have her tell the officer what sites you want to use. In 2025, Keith Richards was admitted to the hospital for erratic behavior, even by his standards. Doctors discovered he had been dead since 1992, but the drugs in his system have been creating artificial spasm that most interpreted as him being alive. In early 2005, on my 24th day, I met Keith Richards after an all-star show he played at the Scenery in Nala. He was, at the time, the least person I'd ever met. I was internally marveling at how strangely preserved he was when I realized he was trying to take me and my friend home. Him. Cheers, Keith. Wherever you are now, you're probably still getting laid more than I am. I'd need to know what kind of society I found myself in. Did we return to sanity or just get lost out in the land of alternative facts? So I'd Google our current president to see how history judged him. Even under the fastest timeline, it still takes 12 months for a vaccine to be created and tested. Then the issue of mass production. I'm not well versed in epidemiology, but I heard that herd immunity will probably occur before a vaccine is available. Apple stock price. I'm not a wealthy man, but I bought a couple $100 of shares about 16 years ago that have since split a whole bunch. Now that pool is worth several grand, even in the tanking economy. So would be curious what 30 years would add to that. You start Googling the past, only to realize that Google's profit has outgrown every country's GDP. In 2030, Google started their own digital currency with huge corporate support, which made people move over from their national currency to the G-coin. In 2040, Google announced that every Google employee would be able to buy G-coin enabled products with a discount, which in turn made everybody quit their job and take a job at Google. Any job, from janitor to health specialist. In 2050 Google's master plan came into place when they announced every Google employee, now more than 75% of the world's population, was able to live costs free if they would be part of the Google Nation, the world's first digital country. You walk outside and ask people, where am I? The answer? You're at Google now. We all are. Won't be able to Google anything. Technology will outpace my understanding. My tech won't work anymore and Google will either be bankrupted or have evolved into something new. Well, technically I wouldn't know because I just woke up. I'd probably wake up and see myself in a mirror and think WTF happened to my face? Why is it so wrinkly? I would then Google how to get rid of wrinkles. This is assuming that Google is still around and the world isn't in a post-apocalyptic state. However, if it wasn't, I'd look up my name to try to find a family member. I would see how our society has reached. For example, did we find a cure for cancer? Did we end world hunger? Is what I was looking for. My grandparents' obituaries. He's 94 right now and she's 87, so I'd like to see how old they each made it to. Mom's dad and dad's mom BTW. After that, then probably timeline of the 20th century on Wikipedia. Imagine being a suicidal guy planning to commit suicide, but the next thing you knew was you slept and woke up to 2050. Lol, back to yeet. Thanks for watching this video. If you already subscribed, thank you very much. Public daily new videos, you can check previous videos.